Okay, hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a full face of no new products because I feel like this quarantine has taught me, and I think the makeup community collectively, it's the importance of, digging into your collection again and finding the products that you maybe haven't used in a while, just giving love to the products you already have. And that's something that I've been enjoying doing recently, just going through my collection and using things that are maybe a little bit older. Although I'm not gonna lie, I have been shopping also, and those videos showing you what I purchased will be coming as soon as my new items arrive to me. But anyway, let's not take away from the spirit of this video. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. Also, I'm so sorry about my lighting. It's been actually pissing me the fuck off, and today I think I always fucking say this, I think I got it, but who knows? We'll see. Anyway, let's just get started. So I've talked about these primers 1,000,005 times on my channel. I'm using the L'Oreal Infallible Matte Lock Primer, just in my T-zone. And then I'm going to use the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Glotion in 901 Fair all over my face. And then I recently rediscovered the Maybelline, I can't actually remember the name of this foundation because it's not on the packaging. I think it's the Super Stay foundation, but if I'm wrong, I'll leave it in the description box. But it's their maybe most recent foundation release. I can't remember. Anyway, it's the one that looks like this. And I refound it and I forgot how much I actually love it. It's really pigmented and pretty thick, but it just makes your skin look really flawless and it lasts all day. And I just kind of forgot how good a foundation it was. I do find that it dries pretty quickly. Look at that coverage. I'm not usually one for a super full coverage foundation. That's not necessarily something that I need all the time, but I haven't worn a foundation like this in a while and it's really nice. I do find it dries down, so I do like to work in sections of my face, and because it is quite thick, I also like to use a sponge as my primary blending method with this foundation. Okay, I'm just gonna speed through my brows, but I'm just gonna use the same as I pretty much always use, the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in the shade Ash Brown, and then the Annabelle Brow Show Eyebrow Gel. And then I'm going to prime my eyes as I always do with my NARS Smudge Proof eyeshadow base. I absolutely love this palette, but I haven't used it in quite a while, so I'm going to use it, obviously, today. I'm actually going to start with the this shade right here called Weekender, and I'm just going to put this in my crease as a transition shade. And actually, because I used to use this palette so much, and this is pretty much the only transition shade I would use when I use this palette, I've almost hit pan in this eyeshadow, which is honestly like unheard of for me because I just tend to jump around in palettes and stuff, but I love this shade. Okay, and now I'm going to go into this shade, this orange shade called Baja, and I'm just going to put this in on my outer V and my crease. Take a totally clean brush and just blend the edges. And now I'm going to go into this punk shade, which is a deep warm toned brown, and I'm just going to put it on my outer V and my crease, which you probably could have guessed. About this palette too is that it has two deep browns, one with a neutral, or one with like a neutral like cool toned undertone, and then this one with a warm undertone, and I really appreciate that, especially coming from Urban Decay, who historically have not been the best at, you know, including deeper matte shades. I fuck with that. I fuck with it a lot. Because I feel like a lot of times with palettes, my main complaint is that there's just like not enough depth, there's not enough deep matte shades, and this palette really delivers. Okay, and now that punk shade is in my crease, I'm just gonna take the same brush that I used the Baja shade on and blend that deeper brown out. Okay, and then I'm going to take a totally clean brush again and blend out the edges. Okay, and I'm feeling like maybe going a little bit smoky today, so I'm going to take this Double Life shade. It's like a deep orange. It almost looks like it has like a black base to it. It's pretty deep. And I'm going to wet that, and I'm just going to put it all over my lid. I'm not gonna like cut my crease or anything. I'm just gonna, you know, slap this on. Now that I put that shade all over my lid, I'm going to take a little bit of this gold shade Stranded right here, just on my like middle finger, and I'm just gonna tap that into the middle of my eye, and I'm going to go like kind of into my crease. When I do smoky looks or like looks with a deeper shade all over my lid, I kind of like to go in with a lighter shade in the center just to like add a little bit of dimension. This fucking camera is really starting to piss me off. Okay, it keeps cutting me off and I have to let it cool down for like half an hour before I can start to film again. Anyway, I don't know where it cut off, so I just used the Weekender shade in my crease, like on the edges of my eyeshadow, just to blend everything out again, and then I used this shade Breakaway. It's just a light like matte cream shade, and I put that on my brow bone. Now we're gonna do concealer, and I'm going to use the Colourpop No Filter Concealer. I have the shade 02 Fair. I'm trying to use this up. I like it, but it's not my favorite concealer. It's a little bit thick, which is fine, but I find that it dries down really quickly and I sometimes have a difficult time blending it out, which is something that annoys me when concealers do that. It really irritates me, and it's just like not my favorite concealer formula I've ever used. So I've just been pretty much trying to use it up, and yeah. It's also just the slightest touch too late for me. And I'm also probably going to just speed through powder as well. It's kind of like the routine that I always do. I'm just going to use the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder in 05 Fair under my eyes and in my T-zone. I'm going to set my whole face using the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder, and then I'm going to put the Tarte Smooth Operator Amazonian Clay Finishing Powder in my T-zone, and then finish with the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in Ethereal Light. It may seem excessive now that I'm listing it all off, but it's my favorite kind of like powder routine that I've found, and I don't know, I do like pretty thin layers of the powder, so I don't personally think that it looks too cakey, but maybe not everyone wants to have as excessive a powder routine as I have. To finish up my lower lash line. So I'm just taking the Baja shade and just running it all the way under my lower lash line, and then I'm going to blend that out. Again, this is pretty much the same like steps as I always do when it comes to like my lower lash line and my eyeshadow and stuff. It's just what I've found works best, and you know, what I like to do. And now I'm going to take on a little brush the punk shade that I used in my crease, that dark brown, and I'm just going to run this close to my lower lashes along my lower lash line as well. And then I'm going to take a little bit of that punk shade on a pencil brush and blend it into the Baja shade. And then I'm going to take that Weekender shade and blend everything out. Okay, so I'm going to put liner on, but I don't believe that I can actually do that on camera, so I'm going to do that and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just did my liner. It's very straight. That wasn't necessarily an intentional choice. My eyeliner just kind of comes out how it comes out. I feel like a lot of people can feel me on that. So now I'm going to contour using the Kevyn Sculpting Powder in medium. And this is definitely not a new product. I have been using this for so long and it's so good. And I've had this probably for, I swear to God, like 3 years, at least 2.5, and I haven't even finished it, and I use it every single day. So this is, even though it's so expensive and so small, like at least that's somewhat of a consolation. And now I'm going to take a bronzer that I haven't actually used in a while. It's the Sephora Bronzing Face Powder. I have the shade Medium 3 Los Cabos. It's actually a really good shade for like later skin tones. It's very neutral and it's just a really solid matte bronzer. Okay, and now I'm going to spray my face with the Pixi Glow Mist. Okay, so for highlight, again, I'm bringing out something that I haven't used in a while. This is the Sleek Highlighting Palette, and I think it's like the Solstice one. Excuse me while I blind you. And I'm going to use this champagne shade here. Is obviously not for the faint of heart, but it's really pretty if you like an intense highlight. My unibrow is like really large and in charge actually. Oops. And then I'm also going to take that on my inner corner because there isn't really a shade in the Born to Run palette that is super great for my skin tone for highlighting the inner corner. And then for blush, this is kind of like a random product that I haven't used in a really long time, but I really like. It's the Canmake Cream Cheek Blush. It's the shade 05, and it's just like a peachy shade. I'm not one really for cream products. I have oily skin. I tend to use like a lot of layers of powder. So I don't really find myself gravitating towards cream products much. But this I really love. It was actually gifted to me by a friend. Hey, Emily. But I really like it because it goes on really well over powder, as you can see, and it stays all day. It doesn't make your skin like feel oily or greasy. It's a really, really beautiful formula. Now I'm going to take the shade Riff. It's just like this neutral brown shade here, and I'm going to do, you guessed it, some freckles. Okay, and so now I'm going to take the shade Jet. It's this black shade, and I'm going to take a little small brush, and I'm just going to tap this right where my liner meets my shadow in my outer corner. And then I'm going to just blend the edges of that black. Okay, now I'm just going to go off camera, put some mascara on, and then we'll be back to finish the lips. Okay, and finally, to do my lips, I'm going to take, obviously not a new product, this is the Rimmel Lasting Finish Lip Liner in the shade Natural. It's hella fucked up because I'm so bad at sharpening my pencils for some reason, but I'm going to just obviously align my lips. Now I'm going to take the matte lipstick in the shade Yash, and I'm not going to put a very thick layer of that. I'm just going to dab it in the center of my lips where there's like no lip liner. And then something very different for me that I never do, but I'm going to take the Essence Shine 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 Wet Look Lip Gloss. This is just the clear one. I think it's the shade is Behind the Scenes. And it really irritates me when my lip glosses get like all gross and contaminated from lipstick. So I'm going to take a little bit of that on the back of my hand, and I'm going to dab some of this over the lipstick. Okay, everyone, that concludes this full face of no new products. It was really a marathon, not a sprint, to get this video done. Let me tell you, my camera and I are gonna have words after this, but I really, really love the way this look came out, and I think, you know, it just goes to show you don't always need to go out and buy new things constantly. You know, the stuff that you already have in your makeup collection is there for a reason, I mean, usually, and it's still worth pulling out every once in a while and putting on your face. Stay tuned for my next video. That's probably going to be a haul. And thank you so much for watching. I really hope that this lighting is better than my last video and that I'm actually sitting in the middle of the frame this time. But without me rambling further on, I will see you next time. Bye!